Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our online recruitment webinar. My name's Lorna Rogers, and I'm going to be hosting this evening, and I am the Interim Director for Digital and Transformation here at the Combined Authority. It's really great to see so many people joining and taking an interest in some of the opportunities that we've got here in the Combined Authority. And it's a really exciting time for our region. We've got so much going on and so many opportunities ahead, which hopefully we're going to give you a flavour of this evening. Just before we start, I just wanted a quick housekeeping note. This session is being recorded, and there will be an opportunity for participants to ask questions. We will hopefully leave, a good amount of time towards the end of this for the questions. So please start thinking of them as we go through with our information. And if people would like to ask a question anonymously, they can do that, but they must do that through the toggle button that's available on the question part of the platform. So I wanted to start by giving an overview of our agenda. The agenda today, I've got colleagues with me who are going to provide an overview of the Combined Authority, both as an organisation but also as an employer. We'll also provide more information on our digital services function and the vision that we have for the region, but also for our digital vision. And then we'll be sharing some of the opportunities that we've currently got available, but also some opportunities that will be coming up, and then what the application process is. And then we've also got a colleague who will share a day in the life of digital services, just to give some insights into what it's really like to work here. And then we'll open the floor up for some questions. So please do get your questions ready. So to start us off, I'm going to hand over to a colleague, Lucy Barrow, who is our Assistant Director for Corporate Development, who will provide an introduction to the Liverpool City region.
Thank you so much, Lorna. Hello, great to be with you today. I'm Lucy Barrow, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the Liverpool City Region Combined Authority. So to start with, we were established back in 2014 using national legislation to take advantage of powers and resources devolved from national government. It means that decision-making powers and funding are transferred right here to the Liverpool City region. And that's really important because it ensures that we can make the decisions that directly impact our local people, communities and businesses across the 6 boroughs we serve, which are Halton, Knowsley, Liverpool, Sefton, St Helens and Wirral. And our Mayor, Steve Rotherham, was elected in 2017 and he's currently in his 3rd term. And our aim for the Combined Authority is to ensure that every one of the region's 1.6 million people benefits from the decisions we make. And this involves creating an environment that allows our economy to thrive for the good of everyone who lives and works in the city region. Our corporate plan vision sets out our commitments to tackle inequality and drive an inclusive growth, making the city region the best place to grow up, grow a family and grow a business where no one's left behind. We lead economic growth through investment in new jobs, digital infrastructure and transport, and we're a leader in the transition to renewable energy, becoming the best place for businesses to invest and building on our vision for a city region that embraces innovation at every step. And by using the devolved powers we have, we can make a real and meaningful difference to the lives of the people living, working and visiting our city region. And so let's talk about our employees and the fantastic work they do every day delivering services and projects for our residents. As an employer, we strive to make the Combined Authority a place where all of our employees' knowledge, skills and talents are appreciated, nurtured and developed, because we know our people are crucial to achieving our ambition to creating a working environment where everyone can thrive and achieve their potential. We want to build a culture that's supportive, forward-thinking and performance-driven, that enables to deliver the priorities that we have, but also encourages our employees' lives to be stretching and fulfilling in the workplace. And we're committed to developing a workforce that reflects the diversity of the city region, to champion equality and inclusion, and to provide a modern and agile workplace for all of our employees. So hopefully I've given you an overview that everyone who works at the Combined Authority has a really important role in our continued success. And by working with colleagues and partners, they are making a real difference to people's lives every day. We're really ambitious in what we want to deliver and for our people who do this for us. And we do have 3 behaviours that underpin everything we do. And they are to provide the best services for the people of our Liverpool City region by putting the LCR first, who are often very much our families, friends and communities. And we're in a really privileged position to be able to do that, to make a real difference to their lives. Respect is our next behaviour, and the Combined Authority is brimming with a wide range of skills and talent, and it's really important that we treat each other with respect and support each other. And finally, action focused. This is really our time to shine. We have a fantastic opportunity to do things differently and turn our ideas and ambitions into reality, which will really transform our city region for the benefit of everyone. So I hope this has given you an overview of our mission and commitment to all employees, from the moment prospective candidates like yourselves see job opportunities, right through to how we develop our employees and ensure each and everyone is able to thrive at the Liverpool City Region Combined Authority. So I do encourage you to take the opportunity to consider and apply for any roles you see today and come and join us. I'll now hand you back to my colleague Lorna, our Director of Digital Transformation, who will outline our digital vision for the region. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. Thanks. Hope everyone found that really informative and exciting. So moving on now to our digital function, the transformation and our digital vision. I think it's a really exciting time for us in the region. If I can just move to the next slide, please. Kind of, why now? We are at a pivotal moment in terms of our region's development. We've got a really ambitious corporate plan which sets out our objectives, and there's a number of really exciting initiatives and projects that are already underway which will transform our region and our economy. I wanted to give a couple of examples of some of them projects which are really driving some innovation and need digital transformation at the heart of them. One of them is our bus reform programme. So we will be bringing buses back into public ownership, and we'll be supporting the digital transformation of our transport network, looking at how we can use digital tech to transform our ticketing, our maintenance of our vehicles and our journey planning. That's just one example. We also have a housing retrofit programme, which is where we are working across the city region to make our homes more energy efficient. Thousands of homes will benefit from this programme, and that will help us with our net zero objectives. But there's opportunities for us to introduce IoT devices to help again with the maintenance and support for our residents. And we're also leading on a national pilot for innovation called the Office for Public Service Innovation programme, which is looking at how we can use data and technology as a public sector to better support and intervene early and help our residents, particularly those with complex health and social care needs. They're just a few examples of some of the initiatives that we've got going on that showcase how we're trying to use innovation to improve our region for the economy. I think we've also got further devolution that we are working with government and taking on more powers from central government to ensure that we can deliver locally. And next year we'll be receiving our funding in a different way. We'll be receiving our funding in a single pot, and that requires us to change both our processes and our systems in the organisation. How we're responding to this change is we're looking at our organisational design and looking at the roles and the structures that we have to make sure that we're set up to deliver. And this has led to a significant investment in our digital services function, which is where these opportunities are going to be discussed tonight. That's enabling us to bring more capacity and capability and helping us to modernise our business systems. Digital transformation is a really top priority for us, and we are dedicated to leveraging technology to improve our services, but also outcomes for our residents. We do have a tech-savvy workforce, and we are on the brink of an AI revolution, so we want to be leading in this area, and our digital services team will be critical in enabling and supporting that to happen. Move to the next slide, please. So we just wanted to set out the vision that we have for not just the organisation, but also our directorate and our service function. So Lucy already outlined our kinds of corporate plan and our vision for the region. And I think our vision isn't just a statement, it really is a commitment. We do want to be the best place to grow up, grow a family and grow a business. And we do want to focus on our people, our places and technology to enable us to do that. But we also, as a directorate, which the Digital Services, the Resources Directorate is the area that the Digital Services function sits within. That's where other services such as HR and organisational development, our finance and procurement function, and our legal function, they all sit in the centre and support the organisation with being effective and efficient in its delivery. And the big programmes and projects that we have could not work without the support of our enabling services. So digital services is critical in that role. And we've also got a vision for the service, which is to support the organisation to evolve into a world-class digital organisation. We want to embrace AI, cloud technologies and data-driven innovation. But most importantly, we want to keep people, inclusion and impact at the heart of everything we do, which is really, really important for us as a function. We will also be appointing a Chief AI Officer, and this is a strategic role to help us lead both externally and internally on AI and emerging technologies. And that role is now live as well at the moment. Can I move to the next slide, please? So I just wanted to give a bit of an overview of how the service is structured and the different sub-teams that are within the function. So we're split across 3 different functions. And I think, you know, our service is not just about fixing IT problems. It's very much about designing and delivering new digital services. It's about ensuring cybersecurity and supporting the organisation with that data-driven digital transformation. I think we've got some core principles that we work to as a function. One of them is being user-centred. We want to also be data-driven. We want to make sure that we are secure and resilient and protect our systems and our services. And we want to be collaborative and make sure we work across with our teams and partners to deliver on that digital transformation. So the 3 services that we have, first of all, our service operations function, which is all about maintaining, hosting and supporting our digital operations. We have a service centre and an infrastructure and cloud team who work tirelessly to ensure that our services are always up and running smoothly. They handle everything from routine maintenance to troubleshooting and ensure that our systems are reliable and efficient. And this foundation work is essential for the operation across the organisation. Next, we have our digital design and delivery sub-function, and this focuses on the effective procurement, design, delivery and integration of our digital capabilities. We have a business relationship management team in there, an enterprise architecture and a portfolio and solution delivery team who all collaborate to bring our innovative solutions to life. They work very closely with stakeholders to understand their needs, design solutions to meet them needs and make sure that them solutions are delivered on time and within budget. And this is the area where our digital transformation truly takes shape as we implement them new technologies and processes. And then finally, we've got our digital governance and compliance sub-function, and this area is dedicated to maintaining our security, our compliance and our governance excellence. So our cybersecurity, contract management and regulatory assurance teams ensure that our digital services are secure, compliant with regulations and governed by best practice. They protect our systems from cyber threats, manage our contracts effectively, and ensure that we adhere to all the relevant laws and regulations. So this area is critical for building trust with our stakeholders, with our residents, and ensuring that our digital services are safe and reliable. And these areas are all interconnected and work very well together to provide a really high quality digital services that meets the needs of the organisation. So I'm now going to hand over to Ian Hawkins, who's our head of IT, who can tell you more about the exciting opportunities that we've got within the function.
Thanks very much, Lorna. And yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Ian Hawkins, I'm the current head of IT at the Combined Authority. So as Lorna's touched upon, the current IT team is relatively small. We've limited resources, but what we have delivered with that size of team over the last number of years is numerous successful projects, as well as maintaining a secure and a very, very highly available service across a number of our services. But obviously the organisation has grown significantly, both in numbers and also the complexity. And as a part of that, we've been requesting additional resource to be able to meet those demands. we've now been given the okay, and we will be increasing that resource, and this is why we're having the session today. We were looking to go from current 45 staff, 45 FTE, and we'll be looking to increase our head count to around about 75 FTE as part of this process. One other thing I'd like to say before we go on to the opportunities that are coming in is we also pride ourselves within the team on the development of our staff, and I think that's quite key for those who may want to come and join us. So many of our current colleagues have been with us for a period of time and have worked their way up from apprentice or some sort of workplace experience right through the ranks to senior management. So we invest in our colleagues, and there's a definite career path there. To that point, I know a number of existing colleagues will be on this call, and we do actively encourage our existing colleagues to apply for roles within the new structure and help to develop those careers. Next slide, please. Okay, so as Lorna mentioned, we've got three functions within the new IT structure: IT service and operations, digital design and delivery, and then our digital governance and compliance area. We will have opportunities in all three of these sub-functions, starting in the service and operations team. So as Laura mentioned, this is responsible for the day-to-day operations and running our service centre, etc. So we will be recruiting an infrastructure and cloud team leader that will lead the individual infrastructure and cloud teams going forward. Senior engineering cloud, so we are building up a cloud centre of excellence as part of our structure. As we migrate services more and more into the cloud, we really need to bolster the resources that we have to help with that, and then to maintain that as we go forward. And similarly, we've got a couple of IT engineer roles, slightly lower level, that both in the cloud area and also in our infrastructure area. The infrastructure area is very, very key as an organisation. Lawrence touched upon some of the sort of new exciting things that are coming ahead, but we've also got some quite traditional sort of infrastructure in place. We run the Mersey tunnels, so there's SCADA systems running and controlling those tunnel operations, tolling systems, so some quite legacy systems, but it's very important that we keep those up to date. We've got one of the biggest CCTV infrastructures in Europe, so the infrastructure team will be key to keeping that maintained. In the digital design and delivery area, this is probably our biggest area of growth, and this will meet some of the newer demands of devolution and some of the exciting projects that we will be facing. So we'll be creating a new business relationship management function and also an enterprise architecture function. So to help us with that, we've already appointed a senior business relationship manager who will help to actually create that function, but we'll also be looking to recruit a couple of business relationship managers who will give us the ability to get closer to the business, understand the business requirements, and then obviously translate them into IT services and systems. Similarly, the senior enterprise architect, this will lead a very small enterprise architecture team, and they will be responsible for coming in, creating that new function for us within the IT team. We have been doing enterprise architecture, but not as a formal service in its own right. So we need a senior enterprise architecture that's going to come and help us to build that service into the function. Project managers and project support officers. We have a small number of project managers at the minute, but again, to meet the demand, when Janet comes on in a moment, she'll tell you the volume of projects we're actually facing as a team. But we need additional project managers at different levels, and also project support officers to help us through that journey. Principal solution architects in a couple of the areas. So principal solution architects will work very closely with the enterprise architecture function, and they will take those designs and create actual service designs and look to help implement those services through. So the vacancies that will be apparent very soon are Dev and AI. So we're looking to increase our development capacity within the digital services team, and also to build up our AI capability to face some of the challenges we'll be getting soon. Smart ticketing. Smart ticketing is a very, very large, as is transport, very large part of what we do. So one of the mayoral pledges is to create a London-style ticketing system within the Liverpool City region. This team, very, very stretched at the moment, but we're looking to implement smart ticketing functionality across the whole region with Tap and Go and other facilities as we move forward. Solution architects and specialists, these again will be involved in taking the architecture designs, developing solutions and implementing solutions. So again, core apps. So this is looking at our back office systems, CRM, finance systems, your typical day-to-day business systems, and again, dev and AI. We would look for solution architects and specialists in those areas. The final roles within the digital design and delivery section is the technical officers. So these are traditionally our operations staff. So they will be doing a lot of the day-to-day proactive work to maintain service, maintain that availability, monitoring, alerting, etc., to make sure we maintain service as much as we possibly can. And we're looking for technical officers in the development and AI arena, and also in the transport arena as well. Again, transport, very key to us. Lorna mentioned bus franchising. We are on a journey to bus franchising, so that will have a massive explosion of transport related systems, which is a very, very niche area, and you know, we'll be particularly keen on receiving candidates that have got that transport experience. The final functional area to be taking additional resources on is our digital governance and compliance. Really, really important to us to maintain security and make sure we stay legal as a section, as an organisation. So to support that, we will be taking additional governance assistant roles on. That's to help us to support our quite large mobile telephony systems, and also to support the governance manager with the day-to-day activities of making sure the contracts are in place, licensing agreements are up to date, etc. So quite a lot of work within that governance area. And then finally, technical officer on the cyber side. So we've got a very small cyber security team at the minute. We're looking to bolster that with a little bit more resource. So we're looking for a technical officer on the cyber side of things. Again, more of an operational role, proactive alerting, monitoring, helping with patching, those type of things. So that'll be a more operational technical officer role. Next slide, please. Okay, so we've got a number of roles that are live at the minute. So if you go to our website, you can follow that QR code or just navigate to the LCRCA website. So the infrastructure and cloud team leader role is live as we speak, as is the digital contracts officer role, IT engineer, both on the cloud and infrastructure side of things, and also the digital governance assistant. So all of those roles are now available, and we'd actively encourage you to apply for those roles. Okay, I'll now pass you across to Jen, who's going to talk you through the actual recruitment process. Jen, you're on mute.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Hi, my name's Jennifer. I'm a recruitment officer here at the Liverpool City Region Combined Authorities. Today I'm going to be taking you through a whistle-stop tour of our recruitment process from the point of your application to the point of the outcome. Next slide, please. And next slide again, please. Thank you so much. So first and foremost is your application. So with the application, the first thing that you will see is the role advert and the role description. So it's really important to make sure that you take the time to read the roles and responsibilities in the role description and have a little look at the advert as well. This will make sure that you understand the role, and so you can make the right decision on whether this is the right role for you as well. When it comes to your application, please make sure that you look at the essential criteria in your role description. This will be able to navigate you through the application process and make sure that you're demonstrating the right criteria and what we want to see from you. Make sure that you evidence in your application how you meet the essential criteria. So it's super important that you mention this and also tell us how you meet this. You can give us work-placed examples, or you could also give us education-based examples as well. It's also super important to make sure that you apply for a role that you would like as soon as you possibly can. This is because we do reserve the right to close our vacancies early should we get a large number of applications. So after that comes your shortlisting. So with the shortlisting process, our managers perform a blind process. This is to make sure that the process is non-biased. So this means that none of your monitoring information will be available to the managers, just your experience and your CV. The next process will be the interview and the instructions for your interview. So you will get your interview instructions in an email, which comes through to your email box in the email address that you have chosen. Any instructions for the day, whether it's in person or on Teams, will be on that email, and you'll be able to log on to your portal and pick your slot. After your interview comes your outcome. So you will find that your outcome will be delivered by email or by phone call. This is just dependent on the role and what you've already been through in the process. Next slide, please. LCR is an inclusive employer. So this means that we will do everything we can to make sure that your recruitment process has been one that is fair. We offer reasonable adjustments to anybody who needs the support during the interview. Please make sure that you reach out to us and let us know if there's anything that we can do to make this process more fair and inclusive for you. We also have a guaranteed interview scheme. This means that anybody from a Black, Asian, ethnic minority background, or anybody who's declared a disability or is from a military background will be automatically brought through to interview should you meet all of the essential criteria. We also are an organisation who offers certificates of sponsorship. This can be dependent on your role and also your eligibility. Please check the government website if there's a role that you'd like to apply for to make sure that this is eligible. If you do have any questions at all, please feel free to email the recruitment team and we will get back to you as soon as we can. I will now be handing you over to Janet for the next piece. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everyone. I'm Janet Thorpe. I'm an interim senior design and delivery manager within our digital services team. I'm going to talk you through briefly what a day in the life of our team looks like. I'll talk you through our teams in a little bit more detail. I know Ian and Lorna have covered that already, but just to try and give a flavour of what they do on a daily basis. Can we have the next slide, please? In terms of IT service management, we follow the ITIL framework, as you would expect. We manage the full solution lifecycle within our section, whether that be a simple bug fix or working through an innovative idea. In terms of projects, we have control throughout the entire project lifecycle through our internal team who use a mix of waterfall and agile processes. We have internal design, development and delivery capabilities in our technical teams, and we also have dedicated support teams who are there to provide ongoing support and continuous service improvement. As some of the previous people have hinted at, we have a high workload. So at any point in time, we have over 90 project requests in our internal portfolio and programme machine, and we have around 300 service requests open at any one time. So it's fair to say that we don't really have a standard day that I could talk to you about, but I will summarise it just as best I can. Within our service centre team, they are the first point of contact for staff queries. Their focus is on first point of contact resolution, which, as you can imagine, isn't always possible, but that's what their dedicated role is. Within that section, we've got a mix of service desk officers and assistants, so some of those roles will be coming out soon. They interact daily with our colleagues, whether that be via phone, email, self-serve tickets, or more importantly, in person. A typical day could include fixing laptop issues, resolving user access problems, or working through some of the more complex issues to identify the root cause. They also process a number of small procurement requests, whether that be for hardware, software, or licenses each day. Our infrastructure team look after our 2 data centres and also our network, and that means monitoring the estate through our certain systems. They act on any alerts and they perform daily checks. They'll also raise requests for changes and they'll implement server patches and system upgrades at various locations, and this can often involve travelling out through to the tunnels or to the various bus stations. There'll be a range of roles within this team available, with responsibilities ranging from proceduralised work, preventative maintenance activities, and then more complex issue resolution, and also onboarding brand new solutions. Our newly established cloud team are working to set up our Azure environment, so it's a really exciting time at the moment. They'll be migrating our systems from our VMware estate in the data centres up to Azure. A typical day for our cloud team currently involves configuring the various components, updating the various documentation, and performing any verification checks. Our digital governance and compliance team, they collaborate very closely with colleagues from the Resources Directorate. They work across the whole digital services section to make sure that we operate effectively and efficiently, whilst also maintaining secure and compliant services across the organisation. Key areas within that team involve the coordination of contract activities, licensing, operational change enablement, audits, revenue budgets, policies and risk management. So the wide variety, and it's fair to say no 2 days are the same, and it's certainly not boring. In particular, we have around 160 third-party contracts managed within digital services, and we work closely with all areas of the business to ensure terms and conditions reflect our technical requirements and that they support the organisation to achieve its goals. As Ian said earlier, our governance assistants undertake the day-to-day support for our phones. We have around 1,200 connections at the moment, and they also manage the stock of mobile phones. They procure and assign software licenses, manage our domain registrations, and process tasks within our financial system. The cybersecurity team ensures all our solutions and processes are aligned to best practice, whilst maintaining usability, and that vendor and third-party support is in place where possible. They collaborate with our internal teams, such as learning and communications, to regularly keep all employees up to date about their part in keeping our systems and our data secure. In terms of our dev and AI team, they support lots of internally developed systems, ranging from big ticket items for adult education budget that pays over £60 million a year, to smaller applications for timesheets or certificate management. And as Lorna said earlier, the team are working with colleagues across the business to build up a core suite of AI tools that will improve the ways of working across the combined authority. Across all of our technical teams, we've got a real mix of skills and expertise, with our solution architects and technical specialists working closely with suppliers and internal teams to streamline processes and enhance systems. They digitise and automate tasks. They do a lot with data, which feeds into bespoke reporting tools or Power BI, for example, and they develop system interfaces. They design and deliver various solutions, including complex network and cloud solutions, and also onboard SaaS solutions. There's quite a lot of procurements that we run within our section, which will range from COT systems to bespoke systems for our transport or housing teams, for example. There's a good mix of technical specialists and architects, so their day job ranges from design documentation, options appraisals, to actually rolling their sleeves up and doing the doing. We touched on it earlier, but our portfolio team coordinate all of our project activities. We have around 30 active projects at any one time, which means at the moment each of our PMs has around 8 or more active projects. To get a flavour for what we're currently working on, we've got large projects such as a 2-year programme to refresh the tunnels, hardware and software. We've got medium-sized projects such as pushing out Windows 11 upgrade, and then tons of smaller projects such as procuring a new corporate GIS solution. Each project, as you would imagine, is at a different stage, which requires collaboration with internal departments, BAs, project support, technical teams and third parties. And this involves a combination of daily stand-ups, weekly team meetings and formal board meetings. Can we have the next slide, please? Might be a bit difficult to read, apologies, but this slide contains some insights from the team. We hope it provides a general impression of what it's like to work in the LCRCA Digital Services team. We take pride in our work, both for our colleagues within the Combined Authority and also what we do to help support the 1.6 million residents that we serve. The diverse range of systems and the various teams that we support ensures a dynamic work environment, and we're honoured we are honoured to contribute to the delivery of the mayoral pledges and the corporate priorities. So thank you for that. I'll hand over to the next item, please.
Thanks, Janet. And hi, everyone. My name is Patrick Eastwood. I'm Interim Senior Programme Manager here at the CA. I work in our change and transformation function, so I work really closely with a number of colleagues from over on the IT side. I can confirm they're absolutely a great bunch, and if you're looking to join the team, you'll be in great company. We're going to be moving fairly soon to a Q&A section. And if you'd like to raise a question, we will try our very best to get through as many of those as we can. So please use the Q&A function and we'll put those to our panel in a few moments' time. But before we get there, we would like to share with you a video that our comms and marketing team have produced for us, which I think really gets across some of the impact of the work that we undertake here at the CA and what we're all about as an organisation. So if I could hand over to the technical team in the background, please, to get that video going.
In mathematics, 6 is a perfect number. Across cultures and religions, 6 is a symbol of balance, harmony, and perfection. A sixth sense gives intuition, knowing what's about to happen before it does. So 6 is special. 6 is perfect. So let's talk about 6. Liverpool City Region is not one place. It doesn't think one way, look one way, or sound one way. It's a glorious consortium. A collection of unique places, ideas, and people bound by a spirit of innovation and ambition. Of thriving towns to tranquil coasts, cutting-edge industries to traditional skills, big business to micro-business. 6 extraordinary places, united. Liverpool City Region. Let's talk about 6.
Thanks so much for our thank you so much for playing that. That always gets me going when I see it. It really makes me feel passionate about working for the CA, and you can see some of the impact that we have across the wider city region playing out there. So I think technical team will bring in some of our colleagues onto screen, aren't we now, for a Q&A session. And I can see there's lots of questions that have come through already, which is fantastic. It's always a challenge with events like this if we haven't got any to respond to. So it's great that we've got some to work with. If it's okay, I'm going to start by bringing in Lucy just to talk around some of the questions that we've had around things like sponsorship, internships, and placements. And also we had a question around organisational design and around whether there are roles within the organisation around design and research and looking at user needs.
Great, thank you so much, Patrick. So some great questions there. Just to start with some of the sponsorship and the placement questions, I think Jen gave an update. We do provide sponsorship for visas, and we are committed to looking at placements, graduate apprenticeship opportunities. We work really closely with our universities and our colleges, so we'd welcome any interest in those opportunities, and we're happy to share more individually. If I just pick up on the question around organisational design, we have 1,100 colleagues across the organisation, and we deliver services from digital, if you just heard, through to policy, through to evidence research and design. So whilst we're focusing on digital posts today, I would really encourage you to continuously look at the opportunities that we have as a city region, because we're so have such a variety as an organisation, and we do have evidence research and intelligence roles and potentially coming up in the future. So do keep a watch out for any posts that may come available. Hand back to you, Patrick. Was there anything else I needed to cover?
No, that was perfect. Textbook. Thanks so much, Lucy, for the answers to those. And I am going to bring in Lorna, if that's okay. Lorna, are you with us on screen there? You've got your camera on.
I have.
Fabulous. So I've got 3 questions for you, Lorna, if that's okay. The first is around apprenticeships. Somebody had asked about whether we support them and if we have any plans to appoint or recruit any over the foreseeable future. And then I've got a question for you around what your favourite thing is about working at the CA, if that's okay, if I could put that into the mix.
Okay. Yeah, apprenticeships, definitely. I think development roles are really important to us, and I think building that future talent pipeline is really important. So we will be looking for apprenticeships across different levels as well, not just graduate levels, but school leavers and A-level leavers as well. So I think, yes, it's definitely one for us to be focused on. In terms of best thing I like about working in the organisation, I think I've got a few. I think I would say no 2 days are the same. We have different lots of variety and lots of different challenges and things that we focus on. The people are really, really supportive, and everybody gets along. Everyone's pulling together and kind of rowing in the same direction as well. And I think we get a real opportunity to make a difference in our city region. That's the most important thing for me. I think we can really make an impact.
Fantastic. Thanks, Lorna. Do you know what? While I've got you, I'm going to give you one more as well. Dynamic questioning in real time. How do we decide what projects we work on? There was a question about priority setting that came through. So how would that typically work?
Good question. I mean, I think we have our corporate plan, which sets out our priorities as an organisation, and that can help drive some of where our resources are aligned to. But we do sometimes get some things that come left field and some kinds of things that come down from government really quickly. So I think the prioritisation comes from our senior leadership team. We'll look at what's important and where we need to focus our resources. So I suppose it's a bit of a mix. I think our corporate plan should dictate what we're focusing on, but sometimes we do need to be agile and flexible.
Makes total sense. Thanks ever so much. Ian, if it's okay, I'm going to bring you in, please. We've had a couple of questions around some specific role types and whether we'll be appointing towards them. So there was one around digital designer, content service designer, and about whether we were bringing roles forward against those disciplines, and also around web development as well. Could you give us a bit of an overview?
Yeah. So we don't have a bespoke web team within the digital services team. The content, all of our web content tends to be done within our marketing and communications teams. So they will work with external hosted agencies to actually create that content. So the content itself isn't done within the IT services, but obviously service design will be done within either the core application or development and AI functions. So there will be design functions within digital services, but not strictly around that web content. That will be more left with the communications and marketing teams.
Thank you. Really helpful clarification. Cheers, Ian. Alan Barton, you're up next. You thought it had gone quiet.
All staff should vacate the premises within this period.
You can tell we're doing this live, can't you? Alan, the question for you was around how we assess stakeholder needs and how we keep things user-centred. If you could give us some observations around that. And also, I would like to know as well your favourite thing about working at the CA. So we'll ask you that.
Yeah, sure. I'll start off with my favourite thing about working in the CA first, because at the end of my response, I'll probably hand over to Janet. But as Lorna said, and just to expand upon that, you know, the no 2 days are the same at LCR CA. It is really as simple as that. We cover such a diverse estate and user community. We can be in tunnel bores, police control room, call centre, tolling areas, bus stations, ferries, terminals. I could go on. We support staff who are getting people back into work. helping people who are homeless to find a home, helping the mayor who's leading the region. I can really go home and tell my kids I've made a difference. And said this to many people, but when we drive through the tunnels as a family, the kids always refer to it as Daddy's Tunnel, and that means a great deal to me. So yeah, very, very passionate about working at LCRCA. In terms of us being user-centred, we're coming from two angles, really. The first is from a service centre perspective, which is what I look after. Moving forward, we're being set some very ambitious targets to resolve incidents at first point of contact. So the driver for this is to ensure that our users are able to get on with working on delivering those mayoral pledges. So to do this, we'll be continuing the model of providing knowledgeable and friendly service, but through our portal, but also developing automation, orchestration, making use of AI for power to power chatbots. We'll also be looking at setting up a tech bar to be located near our cafe in Man Island, but taking that on tour, so we're not too HQ centred. We've got a good understanding of our stakeholder needs at the moment. So, you know, if someone from Dem Services rings when there's a committee meeting taking place, we'll prioritise that accordingly. So we've got a really good knowledge of the business. Also implement a new ITSM, so we'll be developing surveys to get greater insights, but also working alongside our business relationship managers to develop an understanding of stakeholder needs, not just from a strategic perspective, but also at an operational level. And that BRM function's being set up by Janet at the moment. And Janet, I don't know whether you want to add anything to that?
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, I think that's a real key part of our new structure, really. So the BRMs are responsible for understanding the things that keep our colleagues awake at night. You know, it's one of the key questions that they're asking when they get out there, really. But it's not just around working out what problem statements they've got, but also what's the vision for each of those business areas. So what's their priorities that they've got that we can try and help deliver so that we can become a strategic partner. There's also an element of the BRM role where it's two-way conversation. So they're also responsible for conveying the art of the possible. So we might not be able to meet their strategic goals immediately. There may be tactical solutions that we need to put in place along the way. So very much a collaborative approach, and it's working really well. It's something that we're going to be developing more.
Thanks, Janet. That's really helpful. And do you know what? While I've got you, I'm going to ask you what your favourite thing about working at the CA is as well.
I don't think I can follow Alan's, but it is just general pride, really. I mean, I've been here 12, 13 years now, and I still love it. I still come to work each day. You know, I get on the train, I use my travel pass. Don't know whether you can see that. You know, I'm so proud of my teams. They're the ones that make this happen. Technology and IT in the background can often feel quite thankless. I've come from a banking and insurance industry. It's not the same here. You know, everything we do makes a difference, whether it's for our colleagues to help their day job run a little bit easier, or, you know, for people that can travel through the tunnels. You know, our teams put the card payment equipment in, they're responsible for the number plate recognition system. So the variety that's come across that we've talked about today, but the fact that we're part of it, you know, we all play our part in it, and it's really good.
I love that, Janet, and I totally recognise that about the diversity of what you guys get involved in and what's happening right across the organisation. So thanks for setting that out. Jen, if it's okay, can I bring you in, please? We've had a couple of questions around application process. It'd be great if you could provide some clarity on. So the first one is around the essential criteria for a role. Do people have to hit all of them in order to be eligible to pass forward? And then the second question was around the optimum length for a personal statement. What's your view on that one?
So with the essential criteria, it is really important to hit as many of those as you can and that you feel like you do demonstrate. The essential criteria is those absolute essentials for the role. The best way to address those in your person statement is just to make sure that you really evidence how you meet that role, because that's what's going to set you apart from other candidates. So giving us an example of how you've done that, and kind of a little bit of background of, you know, why you did that. In the same breath, with the question regarding the length of a person statement, it is best to keep your answers short and concise. I know that it's quite good to lay out an application where you can kind of copy the heading of your essential criteria and just give a short statement of how you meet that. That way it's still kept to a short, concise person statement, but you're also making sure that you do hit those essential criterias. Hope that
Fabulous.
answers the question.
I think it does, thank you. Yeah, and do you know what? As a recruiting manager, having done some of these processes from our side as well, I must say I do value it when there's a level of succinctness that comes through in somebody's personal statement or the way that they put across their evidence. So I think sometimes less is more, as long as you're focusing on what you've achieved and what your impact has been, I think.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Fab. Thanks, Jennifer. Lorna, I'm going to bring you back in. You thought you were off the hook, but you're not. I've got a couple more for you, if that's okay. So the first one is around project manager roles that will be advertised in a digital service, and whether there's any specialisms that would be expected to be seen through those, and if there are project managers in other parts of the organisation. And then the second question that we've come through is around how we engage with communities to understand their needs and integrate them into our work.
Okay. No problem. I mean, on the project managers, I think it depends. We have a mixture. We'll have some specialist project managers. If we need specialist experience, skills or qualifications, then we would state that on the role description. But we also have generic project managers that move across the organisation and work on different projects. And we have a competency framework and we have a standardised kinds of project delivery framework that we work to as well. So I'd say there's a mixture, and it would be detailed in the advertisement and in the role description if there was specific experience that's required and specific skills. The other one around community engagement and kind of how we involve our residents and our users. I think each project and each initiative and programme, we do have a responsibility to make sure that we engage, and we try and do that in a meaningful way. So kind of civic engagement, co-design is our preferred approach where we can do it. We've also got a number of panels from underrepresented groups across the city region that help us shape some of our delivery as well. But yeah, I think our initial kind of, objective is to make sure that we are getting representative views, that we are co-designing solutions with residents or users of that particular service or that particular programme and project. So that kind of external engagement is really important to us.
Smashing. Thanks so much, Lorna. So I think have answered the majority of the questions that have come through here on the chat. So I'm going to propose that we draw the session gently to a close now, if that's okay. Thanks, panel, so much for your answers to those questions. And just to confirm, everybody who's on the call, we will provide a summary of all the questions, the answers to the questions which have been submitted, and we'll send those out after the event via Eventbrite. So thank you for that and for your constructive engagement as part of this call. I hope you found that informative and that gave you a good lens into the organisation and also into the digital services team and how they work. And I also hope as well that you feel energised to put an application in and to come and work with us. So I would just say again, thanks ever so much for your time. And if you do have any questions moving forward, there should be a slide coming onto the screen shortly, which sets out the contact details for our recruitment team who can triage any questions you've got in the first instance, and also a link through to our careers website where you can find the vacancies that we're out to for at the moment. And also don't forget that there is a number of vacancies that are coming forward over the coming weeks. So if you didn't see the one that you're looking for, please keep your eyes peeled for those as they come forward. Thank you ever so much, and we'll draw the event to a close. Have a lovely evening.